Hey, what's going on, guys? We here, the Coach's Corner. It's been a while. With my guy, man, Coach Rudd. Man, we talk all the time, just about almost every day. Unfortunately, I got to work with you too. So, uh,
The feeling's mutual.
yeah. So, man, I'm just, man, third year, we talked. I mean, I
Mhm.
just remember you getting a job. You was like, year three is when you expect to see some change.
Yeah.
And I don't think you expected to see this big of a change. I just remember you was like, man, if we could just, sneak into the playoffs.
Hmm.
Now our goals as a whole program, like, man, we're just real excited to see how far we can go now.
Yeah.
Once we hit that playoff goal. So we here with Coach right now, man. Y'all got Prince George
Yep.
Friday, and we took a tough loss. So what's the mindset, man? What's the mindset right now? The bounce back mindset.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where we're still in control of our own destiny, and that's huge. That's something that this program hasn't been able to say for a while, and it's reassuring. The amount of community support, the amount of love that we're getting right now is amazing. We cannot ask for more right now. Coming off of a tough loss to a very good Thomas Dale team, it proved that we can play on that stage, and I think that we gained some confidence. Confidence goes a long way with these kids, and just trying to day by day, brick by brick, build this thing up, and see where it can go. And this week we got Prince George. They have a legendary coach, Tom Hall. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's one of the most winningest coaches in the state. So, they're going to be very well organized. They have probably, one of the top five players in the state right now in their running back / quarterback. They use them, in both facets. But we're excited for the challenge. Whenever you get, circled as a homecoming game for another team,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
adds a little extra juice to it. And we've been in that boat on the flip side, for a while. We've been
yeah,
circled for a while, but now, we have confidence in our guys, confidence in our schemes. We control our own destiny. If we get back in the win column, the playoff picture is starting to form in our favor.
yeah.
And hopefully we can get a playoff game back here to Cogbill Road, which hasn't been done in well over a decade.
Right, man. I just, I'm always in your ear, ask
Yep.
you questions. Me, just being my second year being the head coach.
Yep.
Let's talk about these to the young coaches who want to be head coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you telling them? Like they asking you like, man, how'd you get there? What'd you do?
Yeah.
And the grind for me, I was here 8 years and had to
Yeah.
be the best assistant I can be, and
Yeah.
coach middle school girls and everything. So what's that grind been like as coaches? Like, man, I really want to be a head coach. What are you telling them? Like, what's
Yeah.
the top three things are you telling them?
You can't be scared to go to work. You got to roll those sleeves up. My kids have heard me say it before. You got to get it out the mud. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be easy. And it's going to take time. That's one big piece that in this day and age, and everybody wants to have that immediate turnaround or the immediate gratification.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time. You're breaking bad habits. That these kids have had for a long time. And we still see it a little bit. And the reality is it's not an overnight process. So, even now we have moments where, things get tough, and at times you see certain kids resort back to those old habits.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be willing to construct that. You got to be willing to take that on. And just because you've instilled, what you feel is the right thing, there's still going to be times where you're gonna say, okay, let's not resort back to that. Let's stay focused. The time is key. Trusting in what you're doing, believing in yourself, because there's a lot of dark nights. When we started this thing, long nights, dark nights, and it's you kind of got to look in your mirror and just know that you're doing everything in your power to make that program successful. You're doing everything in your power to impact each kid that you come in contact with. And you hope that the buy-in process doesn't take very long, but the reality is it takes time.
Yeah.
And we got to build this thing up, and we're in year 3 right now, and we're not perfect by any means. We still have a ton of growth. We are kind of where we want it to be, where we had planned to be, and we're heading into the right direction. But you got to stay humble, you got to stay motivated, and it's the work that you put in when nobody's watching. It's not about the IG reels and the posts, and what are you doing when the community's asleep?
Right.
What time are you getting up? What is your film session like? What is your communication like to your coaches? Because as a head coach, and this is something that a lot of guys don't understand, is you're the head coach of the program. Right. That includes kids and the adults on your staff. Right. So you have to have that support. You have to have that open line of communication, in the understanding that you as a head coach can always get better. You have to be a student in the game. We take pride in a lot of things. We have coaches meetings every week. In the off season, we go, in-state, out-of-state to different coaching clinics, trying to pick up on different nuances of things that we're trying to do. And it could be something simple as a slogan, as a chant, as anything to bring pride. The cliche things, it's the little things that add up.
Right.
But that's true. When you got your guys taking pride in what they're doing, it shows on the field as well.
Yeah, one thing I have seen is the work you put in.
Yeah.
Right. I thought, man, you up here just probably more than me now. I mean, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But it's always something to do.
Always.
And people don't see that. Like, you have 2 kids, and man, our support piece, our wives, like getting them to understand that as a head coach, man, is it's challenging. Yeah, no matter if they say, yeah, they excited for us, but we know, me and we know.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that some young coaches will have to learn at one point is, you're only as good as your family allows you to be. Mm-hmm. You're only as good as the team allows you to be. And when I took this job, like you, same boat, we had to take them out to dinner first.
Yeah.
We had to sit them down at the dinner table and lay it out there like, hey, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be different. We're both young, new coaches. So the grind is different as an assistant coach as is a head coach. But, my wife has been, phenomenal. She's amazing. I mean, she's the rock that keeps everything together. 2 kids, 1.5-year-old and 7-year-old, like the house is jumping, and
every day.
It's you get those texts. Well, are you coming home tonight? She knows how much this means to me. She knows how much, we have to do in order to be successful.
Right.
And you have to maximize, because if you're not maximizing what you're doing, why are you doing it?
Right.
And that's the big piece. And she knows, it's an in-season grind. And we're up here 6-7 days a week, whether it's film study, coaches meetings, practices. I mean, simple as doing the laundry,
washing
clothes.
jerseys,
like it's a full cycle. But the head coach is only as good as his staff.
Yeah.
And it's important. One thing when I took this job, I really instilled of making sure that I put positive role models and positive figures in front of our kids' face.
Yeah.
So they see that every day. They're getting used to that. And I'm blessed with the staff. Most of my staff played here. Mm-hmm. They grew up in this community, so they have a sense of pride that an outsider wouldn't necessarily have. In the roots. They run deep through here. So, it's a full circle job. We do it because we love it. And that's one of those things that keeps you motivated, and seeing these kids succeed is what makes this job worth it.
Yeah. One last question, man. I am very impressed of how I see these young men in the hallways now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a totally different thing, all the way from my boy Marsan. I mean, I love that kid to death, man. But totally 180 turnaround for him. Talk about that senior class, Kevin.
Yep.
Man, just he has a different aura about him as well. Sure. Caden, Deshaun, Croker, all those guys, man, your leaders, man. Man, just give a shout out to some of the guys. Have you seen the growth in 3 years since you've been here? Who are some of the guys that just just totally different now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it comes with the territory of holding them accountable in all phases of life. You can't run them up through the building and think you're going to flip the switch when it comes practice or when it comes game time. It's a lifestyle. You've got to hold yourself to that standard. But yeah, I mean, I'm proud of my guys. Again, we're not perfect. There's sometimes where we take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, but everything is a learning experience and building that accountability, that responsibility. But yeah, I mean, the guys, we just set that standard. Like, we're not loitering in the bank area no more, right? We want to be on time. We get, part of the behind the scenes things is, and you get them as well. We get the attendance and tardy reports.
Mm-hmm.
So we're holding them accountable at practice. Hey, you had a tardy today, or you were marked absent for this block, and a lot of times, with the system, it might have a glitch or whatnot, but they know that they're being held accountable, and it's proving on Friday nights when we win, it's easier to buy in. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of some great leaders. I mean, our captains, Gabe Casali. I mean, he's a 4.0 GPA kid.
Shout out to my boy Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, he's in our specialty center. Shout out to the IB program. Ricari Enoch Bailey is another big time leader for us. He leads by example, a quieter kid, but he's going to be first in everything we do. He's holding these guys accountable. Obviously, Deshaun is our quarterback, QB1. Very bright kid, young kid, but mature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that this generation and that our program is working on. 3 years ago, my main word was maturity. We got to grow up. And those are the kind of the tools that we're instilling in the to make them successful in life. I tell them all the time, you ain't gonna show up at your job 15 minutes late. So why are you showing up to class 15 minutes late?
Right.
That's your work. That's your job right now. So, I mean, I could go on and on. I hate kind of the name calling because we always forget somebody.
Right.
But
but it's a lot this year,
it's
man.
A lot.
Like I'm just, man, it's amazing to see just in 1 year, really, because some of these cats was knuckleheads last year. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing to see just there. Hey, coach. Good morning, coach. I'm getting to class. I'm getting to class. So it's really changing the culture of the whole school, not just those guys, but those guys are leading the school.
Yeah. And I will say, shout out to our admin staff, our teaching staff. I mean, they work tirelessly for these guys as well. The teachers that we have, I tell people all the time, like, this is a special place to be. We have a lot of special teachers. We have a lot of special people. Shout out to Mr. Marti. He's been supporting our guys through that CIS program, making sure, if they're hungry, they got a snack. If they're on time, he's helping me with pulling grades and stuff. So, the biggest thing is we're so tough on these kids, but we also love them. Right. And they know that, and they feel that love. I give the shirt off my back to any kid I coach, any kid I come in contact with, just because that's who we are, and we take pride in that. And you'll see in some of the young coaches in different programs, once you get that connection, you build those relationships. They're gonna start running through these brick walls, and that's one thing that's helped us, and hopefully it's gonna continue to help us. We still got a long 5 weeks of this season. Central District's a gauntlet with some of the teams that we're playing.
Tough.
You got Petersburg 4-1 right now. Dale obviously is undefeated. Dinwiddie's undefeated. Prince George this week, they're 3-2 right now. In Region 5, and
so it don't get any easier.
It doesn't get easy. You gotta pack that lunch pail and be ready to go to work every week. And we're excited to see what happens. We're in a position that we haven't been in a long time. So. We're excited to see what the future holds.
Man, well, I appreciate you. It's part one. We're going to come back, probably get another show in right before the playoffs. Y'all come out and support Meadowbrook Football. We got a couple of home games left. Be sure you follow the football page on Instagram and social media and things like that. We always looking for some sponsors and some donations.
Always,
so y'all,
baby. Always.
Hey, we hot right now, so y'all better get on now because the price goes up, baby.
That's it.
One last question, man. You know, what's your I know you're a sports guy.
Yeah.
Just about every sport.
Yeah.
Baseball playoffs are now.
Yep.
And I know you're a Commander fan. But y'all are Commanders looking pretty strong in the East. But let's talk baseball real quick. Who you think gonna take it?
Well, I got to go with my boy Coach Kelly in here. He's a Phillies guy.
Okay.
So I like rooting for my boys.
Uh-huh.
So we're going with the Phillies. Hopefully they get it done tonight. and we'll see. But yeah, Dallas who?
Yeah, right. So yeah, I am slowly but surely loving the rivalry now. And Jaden Daniels, man,
JD5, baby.
He's an amazing quarterback, and y'all looking pretty strong. So what's your prediction for this year? Y'all gonna go? Y'all thinking NFC Championship? Thinking Super Bowl? I mean,
we gotta stay healthy.
Expectations?
We gotta stay healthy. Obviously, we was without JD5 for a little bit, and the team looked different.
Yeah.
We got my boy Bill coming up in the backfield. Rookie in the game, so it's kind of seeing where they lead us. But we've made some great improvements personnel wise. That offensive line is looking really good right now. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, regardless, we're gonna be better than the Cowboys.
Oh
so it
my
don't
God!
matter.
We're gonna end right there, man. We're gonna end right there. Hey, Coach, again, appreciate you, man.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck on Friday. Let's go take care of business.
Hey, absolutely. Go Monarchs.
All right, let's go.